Once upon a time, in a vast kingdom ruled by a wise and kind king, there lived a beautiful and pampered princess, his only daughter. She enjoyed a luxurious life in the grand palace. Unfortunately, due to her indulgence by the king, the princess became arrogant and prideful. She looked down upon those who were of lower status, treating the servants and common folk with disdain and harshness. This behavior greatly troubled her fair and just father, who repeatedly tried to advise and correct her, but all his efforts were in vain. One day, the good king overheard his daughter shouting at a servant and treating him poorly. He promised her that he would teach her a severe lesson so that she might learn to treat others with kindness and respect. He swore to marry her off to the first person who entered the palace, regardless of their status or wealth. After her father's threat, the arrogant princess regretted her actions, but she thought his threats would be forgotten in time, for she was his cherished and only daughter. Surely, he wouldn't follow through with such a promise. Days passed, and one day a young musician came to the palace seeking help. The king invited the young man inside and told him he would marry his daughter. The young musician was surprised but complied with the king's orders. When the princess heard of her father's decision, she wept and pleaded with him, promising never to act arrogantly again. However, her pleas fell on deaf ears because the king had sworn to marry her to the first person who entered the palace. Thus, the princess married the young musician and moved to live with him in his modest home, far from the palace. She took nothing but her clothes and had to learn to cook, clean, and wash. No longer did she have servants to wait on her hand and foot. The princess often reminisced about her life of luxury in the palace and would cry over the days gone by. Her new life was one of hardship and toil, but she accepted it as her reality. Each morning, her husband would give her a list of chores: washing dishes, cooking meals, cleaning the house, feeding the animals, and taking care of the garden. Though the tasks were challenging and exhausting, she gradually adapted and even began to take pride in her work. After several months, her husband came home to find her sad and despondent. He asked her what was wrong, and she confessed that she regretted her past arrogance and unkindness. She expressed a deep desire to return to the palace to treat people with kindness and humility. Hearing this, her husband smiled and revealed a secret he had kept throughout their marriage. He told her that he was not a poor musician, but a prince like her, the son of her father's close friend. They had devised this plan to help her realize the importance of humility and kindness. The princess smiled, overjoyed by the revelation, and promised never to return to her old ways. The couple returned to the prince's palace and lived a happy life filled with love and harmony. This story of the princess and the poor musician teaches children the value of humility and the importance of treating others with kindness and respect, showing that we are all equals, only distinguished by our good deeds.